Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So from last, Rakesh has given only invalid, valid range he has not given. So valid range also important. And so this is fine. And Akshay has given only invalid range. Valid range is not provided. So Vimal has provided lower boundary as invalid range, upper boundary has not provided. Okay, so those are the some of the things. Okay, this is how the let's see the definitions. So how exactly what exactly it talks about from current slide. Okay. So we'll see the equivalence partition is a black box testing method that divides input domain of a program. Input domain is nothing but here input range of a program into a classes of data from which test cases can be derived. Equivalence partition is a method for developing test cases. So each partition will be divided valid equivalent class, invalid equivalent class. So we have seen both valid and invalid. So boundary value also here it says this is a black box testing technique where we'll identify the valid invalid. So the boundaries of maximum value and minimum value. So here it's a way, whenever you are identifying, if you identify these boundaries and equivalent class partitioning, so you do not to check all the values in between present. So whenever you are doing a test, maybe in your automation scripts, you can add this kind of if you are testing a field for particular validation, make sure that it will be having these combinations. So uh, that will be like giving more confidence or more coverage to your automation scripts. So it will be a same test data, same test steps. The data range will be the data which you are using will be different, so that gives them more confidence on the automation scripts which we develop. So that is the reason these two are implement. So whenever you identify test case which are related to data range, make sure all these data range test cases, read all these data range test cases, and those manual test cases have covered this equivalence partition or not. If it is not covering, maybe you can go back to the your functional team saying that, hey, this is not meeting the testing techniques, test case design technique. So these test cases to be modified, this range is not covered. So this is also be this might be a causing the failure. So you can raise those concerns in the whenever you find issues from the test cases. So that is the reason it's very important to know. So I strongly recommend don't depend on the manual test cases always. In earlier days, it's correct. For manual tester, uh, it's a requirement document is the Bible for them, so they will follow. the manual requirement. And for when it comes to automation, for them it's they will follow the test cases. They will not go through. But this scenario was okay for 5 6 years back. This scenario was okay, but nowadays, uh, and industry expectations are more. People should be able to understand from the design, manual testing point of view, some knowledge of developer, some knowledge of our manual tester, and also having experience in automation. Everybody should have this knowledge so that they can write good test automation scripts which catches the real time bugs. So that is the reason industries, every organization is expecting their testing team should have knowledge on these three areas. Okay, so error guessing. So error guessing is nothing but in some of the fields there might not be any requirement. For example, date field. So there will not be any requirement for a date field. So actually error guessing without requirement will write some of the things. Okay, so if you see here, I'll give one example for date range. Okay, so the date of birth here, the possible errors might come the months, January and January, March. Few months have 31 days. When it comes to February, having 27 days. Leap year, it has 28, 29 days. Leap year, it has 29 days. 28 days and normal. So whenever the calendar is implemented, you make sure that this leap year has having 29 days or not. So you should, based on your experience, you should be able to understand, predict some errors. You guess some errors. So apart from that, so can anyone give predict? Um, so also good tester organization will expect some suggestions from them. What are the suggestions you can give for this date of birth? For example, so the moment you hit, okay, so the date range is accepting. For example, here it says age is, for example, age is 18 to 50, 56. So some suggestions here. Can anyone tell? So what should be the? Can use the boundary values to error guessing.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So error guessing technique is completely different. Can we? So here, based on your experience, we'll use the boundary values for any field. Will data. So here for the date field, we'll do the boundary values. Date of birth. If I select a date of birth less than 18 years, maximum less than 8 years or more than 18 years, we'll apply all the boundary values. Here error guessing is on the leap year, the calendar is having 29 days or not. If it is having 28 days, it's a issue. Okay, DOB format. Yes, correct. Here in India, if the application is used in India, the date format is DDMMYYYY. But if the application is intended to use in US, then the date format should be MMDDYYYY format. Yes. So that format also. So based on the here, and sometimes we can give suggestions if it is accepts less than only 18 years, and the date of birth also. In some of the applications, if you might see in the registration form, we cannot select the date of birth less than 18 years. So they will predict they will stop entering invalid value it's a calendar itself, they will stop. You can give those kind of suggestions. When it is a date of birth, our requirement is 18 to 56. It should allow from that day to 18 years back date. It should allow, it should not allow within that range. So these are the some testing. There won't be described in the requirement, but we have to think about date, and it should not allow future date. That is also correct. It should be today days are less than today's date. Some applications will allow less than today's date years field, but some applications will not allow you to select 18 below 18 years date. So somehow they will build it. Okay. So when it comes to amount also, so here so here there is no specifications here. What is the minimum? For example, there is a donation. There is no minimum amount is specified. For example, you are going to donate some X amount to some organization. They did not specify anything amount to here. Here for this, you will check minus values. Okay, how it is reacting. So you enter some, when I asked somebody in the boundary values, they told a b zero point 0.5 values they have told. Actually those are not comes under equivalence partition or boundary value analysis. Those are coming, negative testing and error guessing, like inputting. Here, amount should be number that should be more than zero. Zero also should not be allowed. So minus values, characters, special characters. So when it comes to name also, it should allow 13 to 15. It's the only requirement. Apart from the requirement, it should not allow name. Number should not be allowed. Okay, special characters should not be allowed in the name, because name cannot have numbers, right? So also uh, so the date should not be allowed. So these are the things. So you should be do some negative testing and you guess some errors, and based on your experience also, so you probably do some kind of testing. So sometimes, what we used to do is do some tags here. So I'll delete this watermark, and this watermark is present or not. So for example, we will enter -n and we'll submit the request. This tag, it will actually application will break if you use that. It will crash if you use these kind of tags. If you use in the application will break. It will crash. It will throw error message. It will not show any image. So you can crash the application also using some, those kind of testing to make your application crashes or fails. We'll do those kind of testing. So apart from requirement, so usually automation will not do this kind of testing to break that. But whenever tester has time, manual testers will apply these techniques, like to crash the application. So but whenever you are doing a manual, so if you are using data driven approach, if you are using Cucumber, so what you do is, you can put that in the examples. You can put the data in the examples with the different combination. The same test case will be repeated with those many times. And if you are using a data driven testing, you are using a poi excel sheets. If you are using, you can have use multiple valid scenarios and valid invalid scenarios. You can put it in the uh, sheet, and you can read and you can validate. You can do more coverage based on these techniques. As of now, we have covered 3 techniques.
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Equivalence partition, valid and invalid range, and also boundary values of the particular range, and date of birth and error guessing. So how to guess errors. So date field calendar having leap year is having 29 days or not in the calendar. So, instead of DDMM YY format, because if it is a date is like this, so we have 20 0. So, for example, this is the month, this is the. So, what I can assume here, is it 2000 or is it 2020 if you are giving YY? So, also you can say that it has to show in YY format. So, it should be like this or it should be like this. So these are the things we can suggest in the date field if it is not showing based on our error guessing. So here uh, requirement is not talking about all these things, but based on our testing attitude, test to break attitude, I told right earlier. So I want to find a bug at any cost. So you think about all the possible ways, and sometimes we will be biased or will be focused to only that module, but there are multiple areas will be depending. So you have to think those areas and write test cases and do more coverage on your testing. So that is about error guessing. So anybody have any questions? Should be example month that contacts only nowadays. And also amount. One more thing I forgot to told. Also based on the localization, if it is a India, the dollar symbol. In India, it is a rupee symbol. If it is a US dollar pound symbol. Based on that, which area it is, targeting that application. So based on that, the dollar symbol for amount it has to reflect, because uh, if you unknowing without knowing, if you make the payment, if you think that it is rupees, and after that you realized. So for example, whenever you are using uh, purchasing something, you will check that whether it's a rupees or US dollars. So you will check that if it is a dollars, or sometimes it will be a dollars. So that time you will be losing. You may wrongly think that it's a rupees and you might have purchased it 100 rupees. But if it is a dollars, it is going to be a thousand 7,000 rupees, around 7 to 8,000 rupees. So that symbol also sometimes helps what exactly it is. So that is also important. Okay. So these are the things we have already discussed. So we'll see what are the things we have not covered. The date range divided by 0. So if you are doing some calculations, calculator function T. So how you are dividing with some value, for example, 100 by 0, how the application is showing, how it is reacting. So invalid cases, entering blank spaces. So if you go back here, sometimes I have to put a first name. Instead of that, sometimes application will accept only spaces. Okay. So sometimes in name field, if I enter only white space, it will accept. Okay, because of the bug. And sometimes what I do is name, I will enter space and space. It will store in the system with the spaces only, and some of the applications they will trim these spaces before and after our name. It will trim if there are spaces. It will store it in the database. Because that is also important. And with the spaces, it should treat as a blank, empty name. So this will also be we have to cover in error guessing. We can test these kind of things. Entering more than data range, this we have already covered. I mean, so negative values, minus values. So those values you can see. Entering more than pressing the submit button without entering the values. So you might have submit login button, with valid username, valid password. without invalid range, but without inputting any values, how the application is reacting. Upload files exceeds a maximum limit. Also, we need to check if there is upload functionality, file upload. So you go and check now what is the requirement. Again, whenever they say upload functionality, if they did not specify the limit, you can check. Also, you have to check um, what is the limit and what is the file formats if they accept. So we have to get, if it is not specified in the requirement during requirement discussion phase, those will be discussed. Maybe customer will say file should be uploaded. So what file is it? Excel, CSV, PDF, Word, what kind of document it supports, and what is the size. These are the things will be uh, getting clarified from the customer during the requirement phase. Null pointer exception, if there is a null, is there any exceptions if you are passing, if you are getting any exceptions? Instead of, sometimes application throws some exceptions, a null pointer exception or index out of bound exception. So they are not catching properly. So it will show exactly developer errors, but it has to throw some valid data, user understandable. The error message should be in user understandable. It is not a programmer understandable, developer understandable. So invalid parameters. So these are the comes under error guessing. Not only this, so based on the experience you will come across, the moment you do more analysis, identifying error guessing, if you are thinking to break an application, to break an to make that test case fail, you think about it, you will get more error guessing techniques than this, based on your application, based on your experience as well. So decision table and these are big topic, a decision table and state transition diagram. These are quite bigger table. Can we meet after lunch? It's a 1:35. So these are the test case design techniques. So I want to give more time. So I feel you people are hungry. So it may take another 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Can we meet at 2:05? Okay. Okay, so if you have any questions before we start, we'll start with the question. It's already 1:35, so we'll join back after 2:05.
Hey viewers, our Mastery in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So here there is admin application. In that application, there is a screen like so. It's a restaurant ordering website. So admin can check that whether particular so the pickup order is available, like you make an order and you go and pick up because it is on the way to your home. So you are at office and you pay, you place the order, while going you can collect that order. So that is called pickup order. Delivery, that means it will deliver it to your home or office or wherever you want. Dine in is nothing but where you want to go to the restaurant with your team or your friends, or you go alone, you book the table and you say yes. So if your restaurants accept all this curbside, that means, so you will not go to the store inside. You will wait outside of your restaurant, outside of the restaurant, and that delivery will be given to your car from the restaurant outside where you park the car. So these are the four order types are available in that restaurant. So based on that, while placing an order, So you have to select, this is the order application, this is the admin application. Okay, so if you unselect curbside or any of these, you cannot see this option here. Okay, and if you select anything, it has to be present here. So in this image I have selected all four, so I'm able to see it here. So this is the requirement. Okay, so now I will try to create a decision table, and I will explain how we can how we can write the test case without writing multiple cases. For example, there are multiple combinations are coming. If I select only pickup, in this image only pickup has to be shown here. So if I select both pickup and delivery, it is coming around like 10 12 combinations are coming. So it is coming around 12 test cases. So by using decision table, so this one using this technique, so you can create a table and where you can input, so that is displayed or not. So before that, I will open uh, Excel sheet. Okay, so we'll prepare the decision table. Actually, I will be asking questions like this delivery type is so this is let's say this access is user site. So dine in user site. So delivery, and this is user application, and pickup, and we have dine in. So where you go to the restaurants and eat. This is the user application side, and we have another requirement called um, curbside. Okay, so these are at user side. Okay, so I'm just converting this admin side. So delivery and admin pickup, admin dining. So admin side, curbside. Okay. So if I select it,
Mohan, can you increase the font size?
yes. Okay. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me put it here. So here again, so at admin, I have selected only delivery. Okay. So here, what it will come is, so I'll say only delivery. Okay. I'll change this one. So at So here, if it is no, so the font is white, I'll select red. Okay, so if I select only admin, so I cannot see these things, right? If I select only pickup, okay, so this is like for when you select only or only delivery. Okay, if I select delivery and pickup, okay, I'll be copy pasting it again. So instead of that, delivery, and I'm using the short words, delivery and pickup I have selected, and delivery and dining, okay, delivery and curbside. Okay, so if I use these two things I have selected, so this is yes, this is yes, and again delivery and dining, delivery yes and dining yes, and delivery and curbside. So the remaining are like no, right? So like that, I can find out. So yes, somebody has a question. So let me know whether it is clear or not. Now I will ask delivery. So you write like delivery, uh, pickup, and dining. So what are the yes? So I need like for a delivery yes, yes, pickup yes, dining yes. So no. So this is how I need answer for next one. Okay, I will select delivery and pickup no, dining and curbside. So can you give me for this? For this, I'm for delivery, dining, curbside. Can you give me the yes, no, no? Decision table values. Only these three. The third one is pickup is no.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.